But Lotso wasn't my friend anymore. He wasn't anyone's friend.
Disney characters are charming and fun for the most part, but every good Disney movie has to have at least one bad guy. Villains can definitely help to spice up a plot, but there's rarely a happily ever after for these no-good scoundrels.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
Now you, Scar, you're one of us. You're our pal.
Charmed.
Welcome to the Rewind. Today, we'll be counting down the top 10 most evil Disney villains. Before we begin, make sure you give this video a like and hit the subscribe button for good luck. Number 10. Randall Monsters Inc. At first, some might argue that a monster like Randall is simply misunderstood. After all, he's only doing his job. However, the closer we get to Monster Inc.'s climactic ending, the more this argument begins to fall apart. Not only does Randall try to kill Sully and Mike, but he apparently has no problem subjecting a human toddler to the Scream Extractor, a machine that's designed to literally scare the life out of kids. He clearly deserves what he gets in the end. Let's just hope he doesn't find his way through another door anytime soon.
Looks like you're out of a job.
Number 9. Ursula, the Little Mermaid.
She may be the key to Triton's undoing.
Like many of the villains on our countdown, this sea witch is power hungry. Stealing Ariel's voice is classic villainous behavior, and it's clear that Ariel wasn't the first victim in Ursula's backlog of evil deeds. Had it not been for Prince Eric's intervention, other young and naive mermaids may have fallen for Ursula's tricks too. You might think that Ursula wouldn't have hurt Ariel past taking her voice, but it's pretty obvious Ursula would have happily killed Ariel and Eric without giving it a second thought. Number 8. Jafar, Aladdin.
Oh, Princess, there's someone I'm dying to introduce you to.
Jafar, get your hands off her!
Aladdin might have used magic to win Jasmine's heart, but at least his intentions were good. Jafar, on the other hand, enslaves Jasmine after getting his hands on the genie's lamp and makes himself Sultan. Not only does his betrayal of the Sultan prove that Jafar is untrustworthy, but he's also abusive towards his pet parrot, an obvious demonstration of how often he disregards living things. He physically and emotionally abuses Lago on a regular basis, despite the fact that the parrot is loyal to Jafar.
Good grip. Prince Ali is nothing more than that ragged urchin Aladdin.
Number 7. Captain Hook, Peter Pan.
Come down, boy, if you've a taste for cold steel.
Watch this, Wendy.
He might not strike as much fear as the other villains on this countdown, but make no mistake, Captain Hook is bad to the bone. After losing his hand to a crocodile, he vows to get his revenge on Peter Pan and goes as far as targeting literal children to get his point across. Whether it's kidnapping Tiger Lily or laying deadly explosives, this maniacal pirate never fails to sink to even deeper and darker lows. In Return to Neverland, Hook even tries to murder Peter and Wendy's daughter, Jane, by summoning a giant killer octopus.
Looks like I've got the upper hook now.
Number 6. Sid, Toy Story.
Keep out of reach of children. Cool. What am I gonna blow?
Rule number 1 of being a toy: don't move when humans enter the room. Rule number 2: stay away from Sid. There's nothing scarier than a malicious prepubescent boy who disassembles toys for fun. Sid's fascination with cutting the heads off of toys is a clear warning sign that he's not right in the head. To make it worse, these toys are alive during these disturbing alterations and are still alive after the fact. They're forced to live as abominations whether they like it or not, and a toy's lifespan is pretty lengthy. We don't really know what happens to Sid after his toys rightfully traumatize him for life. But if he followed a similar fate to that of the Garbage Man in Toy Story 3, we can safely say that Sid might have parted with his evil ways.
So play nice.
Number 5. Lotso, Toy Story 3.
Set up, baby!
While we're on the third installment of the Toy Story franchise, it's definitely worth mentioning that Lotso is as despicable as he is warm and fuzzy. First introduced as a welcoming and trusted leader among the preschool toys, it's pretty disappointing when we find out that his intentions were never good from the start. He may have been abandoned and replaced by his past owner, but that doesn't give him the right to project his rejection onto other toys. And let's not forget that Lotso came very close to killing Woody and the gang in that incinerator.
Where's your kid now, Sheriff? No.
Number 4. Mother Gothel, Tangled.
Let your power shine. Make the clock ring.
As if kidnapping Rapunzel wasn't bad enough, Mother Gothel lies to Rapunzel for years just to keep herself young. Holding someone hostage and gaslighting them for most of their life is a true vile and unforgivable act. And let's not forget about that time she stabbed Flynn and left him to die.
Come with mommy. Mother.
No!
No.
Number 3. Maleficent, Sleeping Beauty. This evil fairy would have killed Princess Aurora had it not been for the good fairies and their quick thinking. Despite that, the princess still falls victim to Maleficent's curse and falls into a deep, dark slumber. Maleficent goes so far as to kidnap Aurora's one true love with plans to lock him away for 100 years just so that the princess can wake up and find a withered old man on the verge of death. That's some maniacal villain stuff.
Me, the mistress of all evil. Well, here's your precious princess.
Number 2. Scar, Lion King.
Will I like the surprise?
Simba, it's to die for.
Where to start with Scar? Let's see. He kills his own brother just to overtake the throne, blames Simba for his father's death, and then convinces the lion cub to run away from home and never return. To make matters worse, he sends hyenas after Simba just to make sure he doesn't come back. If it hadn't been for Simba's return, the animal kingdom would have looked a lot worse than it already did under Scar's rule. Scar could have simply accepted defeat, but instead, he tries to kill his nephew in the same way that he murdered his brother.
I killed Mufasa. Murderer!
Number 1. Cruella de Vil, 101 Dalmatians.
Anita, darling, how are you? Miserable, darling, as usual, perfectly wretched.
The name says it all. No one is crueler than this twisted old woman. Obviously, killing people is classic villainous behavior, but Cruella intends to kill puppies just to make a coat out of them. Her hatred toward Dalmatians goes far back beyond what we see in the film, but the 2021 live adaptation of Cruella de Vil attempts to humanize this evil fashionista to explain where her hatred stems from. Nonetheless, she's still very much the same woman with zero regard for life, animal or otherwise.
Well, I'd like to add one more. Revenge.
What do you think of our list? Before you leave, don't forget to give this video a like and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Check out these other videos from the Rewind and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss another video again.